Hello, good day. My name is Philip Franco. I'm a medical herbalist coming to you from Trinidad and Tobago here. And today I'm talking about the issue of cannabis legislation, and in particular, cannabis legislation that is being proposed in Trinidad and Tobago, where there has been submitted, the draft legislation has been submitted to Parliament for debate. I want to talk about why the draft legislation is inadequate. It is a mess. I don't know who did it. Whoever compiled it should be fired, and whoever laid it in Parliament should be fired, because I really think the Attorney General who laid it, he did not read it, because for a smart man that I think he is, he could not have read it and then brought this document to Parliament at all. So I'm a medical herbalist, I'm a naturopathic doctor. I am not a lawyer. But the first thing I want to talk about is law, in regard to why do we have law and what the law is supposed to do. So to me, from my knowledge, law is supposed to protect persons and their possessions and their property from others. So that's what I think the law is supposed to do: protect persons and their property from others. I don't think the law is supposed to protect persons from the forest or from any of God's creations. I don't think that law is supposed to protect us from the oceans or from the skies above us or from lightning, from plants. Law is not supposed to protect us from plants or the environment. In fact, we have law to protect the environment from us, from human beings, because as we know, we are destroying the forest and the oceans and the air that we breathe. And we do have law that protects the environment from us. But law is not to protect us from our natural environment, from nature or from God's creation. That is not what law is about. Yet we have cannabis law, not only in Trinidad and Tobago here, that has been a criminal offense to use or grow or cultivate or distribute. But we cannot have law that will remove us from our access to nature. Nature is God's creation, and it was put here for us, and we are supposed to be able to enjoy our interactions with nature and to utilize nature and the products that the natural environment can afford us in our everyday lives. As we know, plants deliver to us building materials. It supplies us with fabric. We get cotton, we get hemp, we get linen. Linen is from the flax plant, which is very closely related to hemp as well. And we get shelter, we get food. We get food from plants, and we also get medicine from plants. All the first medicines before we had pharmaceutical medicines were from plants. So I can understand where people take natural things or natural products or plants, and they make them into, say for instance, cigarettes. So tobacco is a plant, and I don't know that there's legislation to prevent anybody from growing a tobacco tree in the yard or anywhere else for that matter. But when one takes the tobacco and puts things in it and puts it into a form of a product, so it's altered now and is put for sale to human beings, then I can understand law being made to protect persons from whatever it is that is being made by man or advertised by man for other human beings. And in the case of alcohol, you can't go in the forest and get alcohol. A human being has to interact with these plants and ferment them and do certain processes to make alcohol. And so, okay, so you want to have alcohol law or the Liquor Act. And while we have the Liquor Act, we certainly don't have a Beer Act or Whiskey Act or a Cognac Act or Wine Act, right? So I find it's very disturbing that, you know, all over the world really, they had this drive to create legislation specifically for marijuana, right? And it was done, we are told, to protect us from the marijuana, to protect us. In the United States, the legislation came in 1906. And they said that it was to protect us from addictive substances. And all these substances were put under Schedule 1, and it was basically just denied. Now, today we are decriminalizing and making law to say how much you could use, how much you could grow, what you could do, and giving other people licenses to sell and distribute and cultivate and make money on it and so forth. So we're going to talk more about that in part 2. But yes, so law cannot be made to protect us from the environment, right? Unless it is something being altered by man, right? As in the case of medical marijuana, and we'll talk about that later. So look out for part 2, where I'll go a little more in depth into the proposed legislation that's being proposed in Trinidad and Tobago here in 1919. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye-bye.